Hello, I'm Anya Stoddart. This is the Wisdom Mind vlog, and it's the place where you can learn to be confident with your meditation so you can get all the benefits you're looking for, the calm, the peace and the clarity of mind. Except, of course, when big life events come and slap you in the face and bowl you over. So that is what's happened to me just in the last couple of weeks. So just a quick aside, just to put this in context. People often ask me what meditation is for, what good is it? And one of the most powerful things it can do for you is it can act as a coping mechanism when those big life events do come and knock you over. So I think, as I've already blogged about, Mum's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but not only that, she has been quite badly harassing her neighbours, and it's got to the stage where they really can't put up with it anymore, and nor should they. So there was a big multi-agency meeting called last week, which I was invited down to, where we wanted to try and work out what was the best thing to do. How could we calm things down between Mum and the neighbours, make sure that Mum was still properly cared for, but the neighbours could still live their life as freely as they ought to. So in the week before the meeting, meditation was really helpful in helping keeping my mind calm so that it didn't start to spin off into lots of worries and anxieties about what might happen. One of the things I did with my meditation was quite consciously ramp up my mindfulness so that I could catch those little bubbles of worry as they came up and just try and calm them down a bit. I told myself, or I reminded myself, that when a worry came up, what I needed to do was just say to myself, it's okay, don't worry, wait until the meeting, wait and see what happens. There was no point trying to extrapolate possible outcomes and then start worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. So that really worked really well right up until I got into the meeting, and then I just sobbed and raged my way through 2 hours of it. All that emotion that has been pent up with the struggle of making sure that Mum is operating as well as she can just all came pouring out. The good thing is that everybody there, the police, social services, environmental health, the fire service, mental health, probably some others as well, they all needed to hear that. They needed to hear Mum's side of the story, her motivations and her thoughts about why she did what she did, and also the struggle that my husband and I and my sister have really put into trying to keep her as calm as we can for as long as we can, so that she doesn't flare up and go and do things she shouldn't do to the neighbours. So I was quite happy with all of that emotion coming out. It was the right time, right location, and it was appropriate. I don't have a problem with the tears coming out because I look at them as a way of releasing the pain of the heart, and it's better out than in as far as I'm concerned. Now, after the meeting, I didn't really feel that peaceful afterwards, not surprisingly, and that night my brain was really in a big old spin, really going over and over the things that had been said, how they've been said, should I have said this, could I have said that? I'm sure you know the sort of thing I mean. Your brain can really get fixed into problems and worry them to death like a little Jack Russell Terrier. So what I had to do was get up and do a bit of yoga, a bit of mindful movement to try and calm my mind down, and then allow myself to go back to sleep with the thought that everything that could have been done had been done. At the end of the meeting, we'd ended up with a good framework of how we were going to go forward. And I'd got my point across about wanting to have more communication with all the different agencies so that we could all work together much more effectively. So the day after the meeting, hadn't slept that brilliantly, and not surprisingly, that meditation was a real big struggle. Really hard to focus and concentrate. But that's a good thing, that's not a bad thing. Even though I've been meditating for like 11 years now, meditations can still be hard work. And the reason for that is that in order to grow your capacity to be patient, to be kind, to be compassionate, to be calm and peaceful, you have to push your boundaries. And I was chatting with a friend a few days later, and I likened it to going through the mental equivalent of Ironman triathlon training. In order to do a triathlon, you have to be pretty fit and strong. And in order to cope with things like a parent getting Alzheimer's, you have to be pretty fit and strong. So the fact that my meditation was a struggle wasn't a problem, because it meant I was reaching the point of overload and getting stronger. And over the next few days, the meditation became easier because I've got a good routine. My body and mind understands what that routine means, and it could settle into it. And I could calm down again and get back to that point of peace and clarity. So meditation can be a really, really powerful mechanism. So if you've had any of the experiences I'm talking about, parents with Alzheimer's, struggles to get various agencies to understand what they're all doing and how they interact on mum's lifestyle, or if you've got any questions about meditation, then just pop them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can.